John, one of the big questions is about the surf center. And there's a lot of talk around town about the empty stores and what you're planning to do there. Could you provide any insight into that tonight?
Is John still there? I see his name.
Yeah, I was muted there for a moment.
Okay.
You have me now?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a long process. We have to go back to the Coastal Commission to see what other hoops we have to go through. And I have to find a new designer, the person who did the original, those beautiful perspective sketches that you guys have seen is no longer in business. And so we have quite a bit of time to spend here. I'd say we probably have a couple years worth of getting ready. So it may fit nicely, hopefully just in front of the streetscape, but who knows? So that's where we are right now.
Yes. And so thank you for that, John. It's very helpful. And it's good to know that you're moving in that direction, and we wish you Godspeed on that. We'll look forward to seeing any new designs you submit to the county.
Well, at this point, to get something before the county, we need to deal with the Coastal Commission and their requirements for the surf parcel and the retaining wall and whatever else we're sitting there. Plus, we have to put a complete project together for that parcel and or those two parcels, and it's going to take some time. There are a lot of, like I say, a lot of hoops to go through to try to keep it functioning.
Well, I don't want to make any commitment on behalf of the council. We can't do that until we see an actual application. But I think everybody agrees it's heading in the right direction. The idea of opening up that ocean view is certainly in line with the town plan. Let me ask you this. I hear what you're saying, but I'm wondering, is there a demolition permit existing for the empty buildings now? Is it possible that as an interim step, some of those could be flattened and provide more parking for the surf, which is, as you know, it's just a continuing issue. And this council has acted several times trying to make sure that there's adequate parking for the surf market. We all love that store.
Well, I appreciate your gesture here on the surf market. That is a vital part of our community. Many people love it. Many people love the other store, and have two stores and have a choice is a wonderful asset for people in a community. We had an original permit granted that had the pharmacy demolition and the underground storage tank removal. And then as a result of that, we went through some ungodly new rules for underground storage tanks that were left in the ground and needed to be permitted. And so, that took a long time. That's finally gone into the low threat closure, like the other two, the only two I know of downtown, the other two stations, Chevron, which is ours, and the Unical. So that's kind of opened the door now for us to try to do some work, demolition, construction, whatever. But one of the most important parts is that there will be certain fees that the county will levy on us for buildings in that commercial zone. And the goal here is to replace an equal amount of square footage with the current square footage, but make it much more usable in the parking lot, a much nicer visual corridor. So that's kind of where I am. Those fees can be held back for a couple of years, as far as I understand, and consequently save a redevelopment, a substantial amount of building and permit fees if you rebuild within a certain period of time. Now, again, you guys know that it seems like time just keeps on going and ticking away, and I don't want to lose that. So the demolition is kind of held off at this point. We might be able to do some of it in this process, but right now the parking isn't so bad because the other buildings are not occupied.
Right.
But that is not all of it, but some of them.
Have you shared that information with Frank?
With who?
Frank Demling?
Frank Demling?
No, I haven't really shared that specific information with Frank. We've discussed that, you know, we'd like to do kind of our own traffic pattern, walking traffic pattern through the parcel, and maybe right up on the edge of the street isn't a good place for it. And that was why I suggested that they discuss with me some of the other possibilities that we could put together for the streetscape to make it a little more usable and nicer visual presentation.
Well, that's good to hear. I don't want to get in the middle of that conversation, but I encourage you to talk to them about it. They are making some revisions in the plan now from what Robert heard. So it might be a good time for you to get together with Frank and Nafili and talk about that. Certainly, it's encouraging to hear this report tonight from you, and thank you very much for sharing that information.
Welcome. Thank you very much.